Hello everybody, Jake, your resident content cowboy here, yeehaw, and I'm actually surprised to see this so soon, but we are getting the balance changes that I talked about a couple days ago that arrived on the public test server into Pokemon Unite. By the time you're hearing this video, they should be live. So let's take a look here. We have the change to Confuse Ray. It's getting an increased cooldown, so it used to be 8 seconds, now it is 10 seconds. Duraludon is getting multiple nerfs, as we talked about before. Did I say Dufour? Okay, hold on. Dufour? Okay, here we go. Dragon Tail is getting a cooldown increase, so it's going to take longer before you can use Dragon Tail. And also, interestingly enough, I didn't notice this, but it's getting a reduction in the amount of shield you get during its Unite move, and the slowing effect of the burning is getting a reduction as well. So actually a few really good nerfs to Duraludon right there. It's the highest win rate Pokemon in the game right now, so I'm not super surprised. Dodrio getting a nerf and a buff. We knew about the cooldown changes on both jump kick and agility. However, we're also getting an acceleration decrease on agility. So they're really leaning into the jump kick build and kind of moving away from agility. I think overall this is going to hurt Dodrio, but we're going to have to see how that jump kick feels with another second off of its cooldown. We have Azumarill getting a cooldown increase to its Water Pulse and also a damage decrease on Water Pulse. We're getting the massive buff to Buzzwole, of course, and also an interesting nerf here. So its ability Pounce, which I'm guessing is, what is it, Leap? I can't remember the exact name in the game, but that is actually getting a cooldown increase, and the Muscle Gauge is getting the insane ability to trigger off wild Pokemon, which is going to be amazing. Let's see. Cinderace getting an increase to the damage dealt with Pyro Ball, which should be cool. And Water Bear, or Shifu, is getting a couple nice decreases in cooldown to its liquidation ability, and its shield increased by 20%. I also wanted to take this time in this video to go over the letter from the editor at Pokemon Unite. I guess the letter from the developer, from the producer. Took me a long time to read the word that was on the screen, I got to admit. I have not gotten a chance to fully read this, even though I kind of essentially read it here, but I wanted to go over it with you right now. So we got an update from the producer of Pokemon Unite. There is a new producer for Pokemon Unite, so let's talk about it here. Hello everyone! 2022 proved to be an incredible, fast-paced, exciting first year of Pokemon Unite. These past few months we've celebrated our first anniversary, turned Pokemon into snowmen, and welcomed our first legendary Pokemon, Urshifu, to Eos Island. Although the celebrations are over, there's plenty more to be excited about coming to Pokemon Unite. Zoroark release retrospective. This is really interesting, and I think it's kind of cool that they addressed this. So if you remember, Zoroark was released gem locked and Hollowware locked. So the only way to get Zoroark was to buy Zoroark and its Hollowware. I think it was a really bad decision. Everyone hated it, and they're acknowledging it here. In October, we released the Melee Speedster Zoroark and made it obtainable with only Eos gems as part of a bundle with its costume party-style Hollowware during its first week of release. We heard the community's feedback, which informed us that these restrictions were not a good experience. We appreciate that feedback, and after consideration, we will not be following this release practice in the future. Let me be clear with you. This does not mean that they won't be gem locking Pokemon. I still think they're going to do that for a week, but I don't think they're going to pair it with Hollowware anymore, which is a lot more reasonable. We intended to create a better paid experience for Pokemon Unite players in the coming months, and we welcome your feedback across social channels. So whatever you think, here's the thing. Okay. Let me say this first. If you're just gonna tweet at a company and you're gonna say you suck, fix matchmaking, you're terrible, you're not gonna get a lot of traction. But real constructive feedback, it sounds like they're looking for it, so I would highly encourage you to give them that feedback. All right, back into this here. They want to hear it on social media, and it sounds like they're listening. We look forward to collaborating with the community in the future, so please continue to share your valuable feedback. Also, when they have those surveys, fill out those surveys. Matchmaking Explained. This is really interesting. Matchmaking is a much discussed subject in the community. For players who are unfamiliar, we'll explain how it works. Matchmaking is based on matchmaking rating, MMR, which is a hidden number decided by factors like win percentage, consecutive wins, and current rank. During matchmaking, players are put into a queue that searches for players who have a similar MMR, and then positions are filled for both teams. After a period of time, if no players of similar skill are available, matchmaking parameters are broadened to look at a wider pool of potential teammates and opponents. By doing so, the game attempts to optimize the balance both within and between teams in terms of player skill level, as well as create a fairly matched environment for all players. You can see a breakdown of teams composition and MMR below. You can take a look at this. I'll have a link to this in the description of the video, but basically we're seeing similar team comps, so a trio and a duo, all solo versus all solo. This is what they're looking for here, and they oftentimes get a very similar team comp. And then teams MMR, they have evenly matched MMR about 81% of the time, almost evenly matched about 9.5% of the time, and then unevenly matched 9.0% of the time. So 9% of the time, there are matches where it is really uneven, and we've all felt those matches. They're not super fun, but also, I mean, sometimes you're on the other side of them. I mean, you're on the good side. It's just something to be honest about. Like, look, we all want closer matchmaking, but just remember that sometimes you think you're really killing it, and you may be on the uneven side right there. Just a thought. Looking at this data, we can see that 96% of all matches have teams with similar composition. The percentage of matches with literal or no difference exceeds 80% in skill level. However, we've been researching player experiences and sentiments on the subject, as not all players report having equal matchmaking experience. To improve player experience, in July, we implemented a change to the formula for how master rank points are gained and lost. This formula now applies and removes fewer points as the player's rank increases. This change not only helps master points more accurately reflect player skill, but also helps improve matchmaking. On December 1st, we also implemented a change to rank matchmaking logic that will keep the rank variation between players on a team within 2 ranks, excluding 5-player teams. In addition, in ranked, so now it's master and ultra only. In addition, in ranked matches, players in duos, trios will need to be within 2 ranks of each other, ensuring as even playing field as possible. Next, we'll be making some changes to fair play points. Thank goodness. A change has already been implemented to deduct fair play points if a player stops playing during a match, and a player's matching priority will be reduced to fewer total fair play points they have. We'll also be improving the accuracy of detecting passive play, such as using moves to avoid appearing inactive but not engaging in battle. This would be so nice. Lastly, we'll be making some changes to rank range across which solos, duos, and trios can match. We'll also be adjusting the rank range resets at the end of the season in hopes of mitigating the differences in skill at the start of a new season. The Unite team is always looking for ways to improve player experience, so please continue sharing your thoughts and changes on the changes above as they're implemented. So honestly, keep letting them know what you think. Again, being as constructive as possible, because just saying fix matchmaking, while it's good, being more specific I think helps. A new year. Finally, we'd like to introduce to everyone Unite's new producer, Yuki, is it Gabe or is it Gabe? I'm gonna get it wrong. Who will be taking over for Masaki Hoshino, and is thrilled to work with you all to help make Pokemon Unite a fun experience. From all of us at the Pokemon Unite team, we'd like to thank you again for the passion and dedication this community brings every time you play our game. We hope you're excited for what's to come. We can't wait to show you. Sincerely, the Unite team. So, a few thoughts on this. First off, balance happened really fast. We might be having even more balance once Dragapult releases. Also, the game's going to have an update, so we might have some leaks dropping very, very soon. This is all pretty exciting stuff, and just kind of a final thought from me. I know some people can get pretty down on Unite at times. That hasn't been my experience. I've really enjoyed my time with Pokemon Unite, but I know some people can get frustrated and they get upset at the devs. Some people, when they saw this letter, were kind of upset about it, and or just sort of, for lack of a better term, just a little combative with the letter. I'll say this. I'm going to take their word for it. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. It feels like they're acknowledging the mistake they made with Zoroark, and it feels like they're trying to be even more transparent. As you saw earlier with the patch notes, we're seeing actual numbers and things now. We're seeing cooldowns and percentages, and we're seeing more information come out from them, and what felt like a pretty honest letter that addressed some of the issues with the game. So I think we should definitely give them the benefit of the doubt here, while at the same time continuing to voice your concerns with what you think is wrong with the game. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I love you very much. Pyro Ball Cinderace to the moon.